A few days ago, I planned a trip to Chattanooga. The weather was VFR, but I discovered once I was airborne that the visibility was quite limited by haze. Even though it was VFR, I saw no reason to continue since I couldn't sightsee once I got there. So I turned back. But today is Sunday, August the 3rd, and it looks much better today. So I set out again to visit Chattanooga, Dalton, and then return home. Here I am en route. I just leveled off at 3,500 feet. Let me show you this little trick here that I always do. The reason I turned off the autopilot is I wanted to see if the plane was trimmed for flight. It may not matter, but I imagine if the plane's not trimmed for cruise, then the autopilot servos have to strain the whole trip to overcome the out-of-trim condition. I don't want to burn out my servo motors. Once I know I'm trimmed right, I re-engage the autopilot. So here's the deal. I flew to Chattanooga and shot a touch and go. Then I flew to Dalton and shot a touch and go. But there was nothing noteworthy to tell you about. So in this video, I'm going to talk about this other part of the flight. This one here in this box. Once I left Dalton, I headed east and started climbing. No particular reason. Just like when Forrest Gump walked across the county and just kept going all the way to the west coast. He said, well, for no particular reason. Same thing here. I just kept climbing. Up ahead, there's some clouds, and I can tell I'm not going to be able to clear them at this rate. So let's review something. I'm in Class Echo airspace. I use this simple mnemonic to remember VFR cloud clearance rules. It's Cessna 152. 1,000 feet above, 500 feet below, and 2,000 feet horizontally. Fortunately, I see off to the right that the clouds are not as well developed and that there's just gobs of open space between the clouds there. I'm not even using climb power. I'm just climbing at 500 to 700 feet per minute in a leisurely way. And anytime I get even close to a cloud, I can turn away into some open space as I climb. So I go up to 9,500 feet and level off. It's really smooth up here. Most of the cloud tops were at 8,000 feet, so I have plenty of room to spare. I am not only enjoying the scenery, but it's a comfortable 52 degrees up here. Natural air conditioning. Now compare that to the 89 degrees on the ground. In places up here, it looks a little bit like the clouds are icebergs, sort of floating on the water. And I'm flying in the ocean in between. I come upon this opening that is, well, sort of like a cul-de-sac. So I circle in the opening and then start back down again. Yeah, what a fun flight that was. Now, because we've been talking about clouds, I want to show you something I've never seen before. I was at my local airport. It was a nice day, as you can see. I'm panning my camera across the runway. Now, take a look at those low clouds over there. That's not ground fog or smoke. Those are clouds. I've never seen them form that low before. If you had a step ladder, you could reach up and touch them. While we're here, let's just do a little plane spotting too. So here's the Honda jet, but you know that. Here's the stuff I didn't know until I researched it. This jet was designed and built in Greensboro, North Carolina. The fuselage is composite while the wings are aluminum. It cruises at 422 knots with a range of 1,547 nautical miles. The registration on this particular aircraft is an HA420, making it a Honda Jet Elite. It can seat 6 to 7 people, and get this, it has an onboard lavatory and a galley. Would not have guessed that. This is a Zenith CH-750. It's a kit-built light sport aircraft. According to Zenith, it's powered by a Continental O200 and it cruises at 100 miles per hour with a range of about 440 miles. Now, I took this picture in mid-July. Maybe the owner was on his way to Oshkosh. This is a Citation 525C. Seat 6 cruises at 378 knots with a range of 592 nautical miles. Now here comes a Cessna 421C, Golden Eagle. Don't know about the golf cart. I do know at this airport they're used a lot as tugs by the A&P mechanics. Now this plane cruises at 240 knots at 25,000 feet. Yeah, it's pressurized. Seats 6 or 7 people, has a range of almost 1,500 nautical miles. I'm going to wrap up with some more clouds. In the distance, you can see the rain falling out of the cloud. Time for me to go inside. Hope you liked the video. If you did, give it a like, and I'll look for you at our next episode. See ya.